True story here. When I was a little girl, my mother used to do paint by numbers, and she was so detailed and so patient that she could get the smallest teeny little brush and that perfect amount of paint into that area labeled number one. And as a little girl, when she was out of the room one time, I decided that I wanted to try to paint by numbers. So I grabbed the brush, and I'll never forget, I think that was the first time I saw my mother cry. She was so upset and so angry, and yet she just walked away. She's like, I can't even, like, right now. I think she probably wanted to throw me out the house, but it was just, I at that point I was just like, I want to do that. I messed it up. Not good. Well, I'll talk about my mother, because she was a single mom. She was probably one of the strongest women that I have ever met. We did let lose her about 4 years ago to cancer, and it was probably like the toughest time in my life. But the blessing was knowing her. She was very kind and gentle and sacrificed a lot for our families, because she was left to raise 3 kids by herself and did the best she could to give us everything. But we used our imagination growing up to occupy our times. The creativity was always there. And when you don't have a lot, then you're forced to, take what you have and make the most of it. We had, book covers made out of brown paper bags, and mine was the book cover that was covered in doodles and little artworks and so on and so forth. I don't remember ever not drawing. I think I did it from the very beginning. By the time I got to high school, I really, wanted to learn more about art and technique and painting and medium. And I had an art teacher that was outstanding. His name was Mr. Falcone, and he, I think, really thought more of my ability than I did myself, and was always very encouraging. Unfortunately, at that time, I didn't appreciate art for really what it was. I was literally just teach me how to draw, teach me how to paint, teach me how to use this material. Wasn't really focused on the history part, so that was the part where I kind of dropped the ball. Like, I really didn't learn much about the art world and the different types of artwork. My focus was really on just learning how to do what I wanted to do. And I was just going through school, having a good time. Cheerleader, student council, choir, sports. I was in track and field, and I just kept myself so spread out. Everything I could get myself into, I was into, and I was just not thinking about career path. By the time I got into college, this is my first time being on my own, so I really was just having a great old time. It was an opportunity to be social and, still do the things that I like to do, but there was very little focus on art at the time. So there was a gap of high school and then just kind of playing around with it. I tried to get back into it around the time when I got married. And then, boom, right after that, I had kids and took another 20-year hiatus before I was able to get back into it, which is crazy. So my dear friend Leah Williams, the program host at QVC, she is like the ultimate in events and events planners. We call her the Julie from the Love Boat. She's the cruise director when it comes to social activities. She had heard about this painting class that you can go to and paint a lesson and then drink wine and have snacks. We went to that class, and that class is what struck that chord in me to start painting again. So by this time, my kids are grown. I have, a career that I love, doing my thing, and I have the time to do it. So I went to the art store. I bought myself some canvases and paints and started, on the journey of learning the skills that I had or picked up where I left off. So I give Leah full credit for getting me back on track. It took me a long time to admit or to say out loud that I am an artist. And, it's funny. I think if anything, my mother always knew that I'm an artist, but to say that, what makes you an artist and what makes you, an artist that somebody would consider an artist, that whole transition actually started to take place probably, I don't know, 5 years ago, where I could start to see where I fit and that I did have something to offer, and to think that somebody else might like it too is really, really exciting. And the possibility that could be something that I can share with other people. And then that's when I started to recognize that, yeah, I'm an artist. I have art in me.